Yo, it's Yerk, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make Storm Surge from competitive in Fortnite creative. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to incorporate your own Storm Surge mechanic in your own creative maps. But before we get started, if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, drop a like, hit subscribe, do whatever you want to do and all that stuff. And if you want to support me, you can use code YerkYT in the item shop and it really helps me out a lot. But let's hop right into this tutorial, and the very first thing that we're going to need to do is we need to grab out an advanced storm controller and an advanced storm beacon. We're going to start by placing down our advanced storm controller, and we're just going to open up the settings, and all we're going to change in here is we're going to set the storm phases to custom, and we're going to set when phase ends transmit on channel 150. Then for your advanced storm beacons, it doesn't matter, you can use whatever you want, so I've just gone ahead and saved us some time by just setting up a couple of very basic ones. Next up, we're going to need to grab a tracker. Place down your tracker device and open up the settings. We want to set the stat to track to eliminated. Then we're going to set the target value to 3. Then we're going to go down to the sharing option and we want to set this to all. And for the title, we want to set this to Storm Surge. Then we're going to find the self-eliminations setting and we want to set this to yes. And lastly, we want to set when complete, transmit on channel 1. Click OK, and next up we need to grab out an attribute trigger. Place down your attribute trigger and open up the settings. We want to set minimum player eliminations to 1. Then we're going to set disable when receiving from to channel 1. Then we want to set the listen to channel 2. And lastly, we need to set if a check is invalid, we want to transmit on channel 3. Click OK, and next up, we're going to need a mutator zone. You want to place down your mutator zone somewhere that it'll cover the entire area of play. Open up the settings and we want to set allow weapon fire to yes. Then we're going to set the width, depth, and height to 100. And then we want to set enabled on game start to no. Scrolling down to the bottom, we want to set enable when receiving from channel 150. Disable when receiving from channel 2. And on player entering zone, transmit on channel 2. Click OK, and next up we need to grab a damage volume. Place the damage volume right next to your mutator zone and open up the settings. Again, we want to set the width, depth, and height to 100. And then we want to set the damage type to damage over time. We're going to change the damage from 200 to 10. Then we're going to set effects team to only selected. Next we need to set enabled on game start to no. And then we want to set enable when receiving from to channel 3. Disable when receiving from channel 1. And update selected team when receiving from channel 3. Click OK. That is how you make the storm surge for the first storm phase. And I'll show you how to make the second storm phase after we thank our sponsor. You guys have to check out Core. It's the new game creation platform that has everything that you could possibly need to start making games. They have an amazing terrain editor that is super easy to use, and they have loads of templates to help you get started making your next game. Core even lets you publish your games to the world instantly with the click of a button. You can easily add NPCs, create custom weapons, create custom abilities, and so much more. They recently announced that Core is coming to the Epic Game Store, and it's going to be huge. You guys do not want to miss this. You guys want to get started ASAP. Not only is Core an amazing free platform to create games, but it also allows you to monetize your games through in-game perks, and you get to keep 50% of the revenue. You guys have to check out Core because they're hosting the Core Invitational Game Jam from March 4th through April 5th with $120,000 in prize pool, and you don't want to miss this. Get Core now by clicking the link in the top of the description. It's free. You guys want to get this. What are you waiting for? Go get Core. Okay, to start making our second storm phase, we're going to need a trigger. Place down this trigger, open up the settings, and we want to set transmit every X triggers to 2. Then we're going to set trigger when receiving from to channel 150, and when triggered, transmit on channel 149. Click OK, and now we're going to copy our tracker and our attribute trigger and place them down next to our trigger. Open up the tracker settings, and the only settings that we need to change here is we need to set assign on game start to no. Then we want to change the title to Storm Surge Phase 2. Then we're going to set the assign to all when receiving from to channel 1. And we're going to set when complete transmit on channel 4. Click OK. And now open up the settings for the attribute trigger. Now we're going to set the minimum player eliminations to 2. And then we want to set disable when receiving from to channel 4. Listen to channel 5, and if a check is invalid, transmit on channel 6. Now we're going to place down another mutator zone and open up the settings. Once again, we're going to set allow weapon fire to yes, width, depth, and height to 100, enable that game start to no, and we want to set enable when receiving from channel 149, disable when receiving from channel 5, and on player entering transmit on channel 5. Now we're going to go ahead and place down our damage volume. And again, open up the settings. And again, we want to set width, depth, and height to 100. And we're going to change the damage type to damage over time and damage to 10. We're going to set effects team to only selected. And we're going to set enable that game start to no. Then we want to set enable when receiving from channel 6, disable when receiving from channel 4, and update selected team when receiving from channel 6. So now that we've gone ahead and started the game, you can see that it says Storm Surge up in the top left corner. And it says 0 out of 3. But as you can see, if I respawn, it'll go up, and once we get to 3, this will disable the Storm Surge effect. So we have to get 3 eliminations each storm phase, otherwise Storm Surge will affect the player with the least amount of kills. As you can see, once this storm closes, I'll start to take damage. I'm taking damage, and now if I were to get killed, this would stop the Storm Surge from affecting the rest of the lobby. Because as you can see, when I respawn, I'm no longer being damaged. But now we have a new Storm Surge Phase 2 up in the top left corner, and it's also 0 of 3. So again, if we respawn, it'll go up. And once again, if the storm closes and we still haven't completed the Storm Surge Phase 2, then I will start to take damage. And once again, if I respawn or if someone kills me, the rest of the lobby would have Storm Surge disabled. And that is how you make Storm Surge in Fortnite Creative. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, drop a like, hit subscribe, do whatever you want to do and all that stuff. Don't forget to check out Core, link in the top of the description. And thank you all so much for watching. That is all I have for this one, but if you want, feel free to check out some of my other videos that are on screen now. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay up.